Good evening, everyone. My name is M. Srinivas. People call me MS, and I teach English. I enjoy doing that. This is the first video on Staff Selection Commission Preparation Strategy. Okay, welcome to this ACE online classes. We're going to have so many videos like this. This is the first video on this word. Look at this, guys. I use the word strategy. Let me talk about this. Wait. The moment I say English, people, especially students, have two attitudes. Number one, from LKG onwards, I am studying, English medium, and English is not a problem. Second attitude, I am from vernacular medium, English is not at all my cup of tea. I would say, guys, these two attitudes are wrong. You know why? We have so many Englishes around. American English, British English, Australian English. Now all this mixture is Indian English. Another biggest problem when it comes to the competitive English is your spoken language. Sab chalta hai, when you speak, everything is okay. The only thing is we try to communicate, even if we make some mistakes, people don't really worry about that. But when it comes to any exam, examiners are very particular about this. I would say bookish English. So there is so much of confusion. Please understand the actual English part of competitive exam. Whatever English you know, okay, good, but please understand. Even you can cross-check whether whatever knowledge of English you have is on the right track or not. Okay? For any competitive exam, broadly 3 areas are tested. Grammar. Actually, there is no glamour about this. We know this grammar, but how much we know, we'll see. Another thing, vocabulary. I would always say this one. Vocabulary sessions are like Star Plus Hindi serials. There is only beginning for this, but there is no end for this. It's go on and on and on. But I tell you what to do. We actually understand what exactly examiners are expecting from a student. That we'll see in further sessions. And this one, reading comprehension, I would say, is something like star movies without subtitles. It looks good, but nothing goes into your brain. What do we do for all these problems? As we go ahead, we'll talk about that. Quickly, before others join us, quickly go through this syllabus part. As I told you, grammar, vocabulary, reading comprehension, broadly 3 areas, but pattern may be different from the other exams. We'll see what is the pattern of this SSC English part. Obviously, we have this objective multiple choice, okay, and computer based, you know this. And this is tier 1 part, and tier 2 also the same, objective multiple choice questions we have. And tier 3, where we have descriptive paper, okay, you have a choice here, luckily. But those who are not very good at Hindi, obviously they have to fall back on English, and their writing skills also matter. That part also we'll do it in later sessions. Okay, fine. This is for some special categories. Okay, we'll see that later. Now, this is what notification says. English comprehension. Okay, it's not about reading comprehension, it's about every part of English comprehension. That's what it says. So tier 1, guys, this is our first hurdle. 25 marks, 50 questions in 60 minutes. Of course, there is a negative marking of 0.50. And tier 2, this is like marathon. 200 marks, 200 questions in 120 minutes. Of course, there is a negative marking. Okay, fine. Broadly, these are the areas which we are going to cover in further sessions. Let me just go through that, have a glance at this. Phrases and idioms, one word substitution, synonyms, antonyms, sentence correction, sentence improvement, active voice, passive voice, direct speech, indirect speech, spotting errors, fill in the blanks, spelling correction, reading comprehension, sentence rearrangement, close test. I want you guys to pay attention to one particular thing here. Sentence. Sentence. Of course, active voice, passive voice, direct, indirect speech. Sentence. This one also. Sentence. Fill in the blanks. Of course, you have sentences. Reading comprehension, sentence rearrangements, close test, sentence. Okay? Simple strategy. What is that? Look at this slide. Read this, guys. Reading a sentence is the reverse process of writing a sentence. What do I mean by this? In exam, examiner is going to give you a sentence. How do you know that is a sentence? A group of words which ends with full stop or a question mark, you know. Now, look at this. You are reading a sentence. Reading a sentence is the reverse process of writing a sentence. Now, you are reading this sentence to understand the idea. But when it comes to spotting errors, guys, you have to wear grammatical glasses. I have one. I'll tell you where to buy this one. Okay? What I'm trying to say is, you have to see the sentence from grammatical angle. What is this grammatical angle? Only here. Suppose when you are reading a novel or a story or a newspaper, obviously you don't think from grammatical angle. You only look at from the idea's point of view. Okay? Whereas here, when it comes to spotting error, please spot the error in case if you find any or if it is there in a sentence. Obviously, your strategy is this. It all depends on how you look at the sentence. This is what my strategy. Okay? As I said, when you read a sentence, that is exactly the reverse process of writing a sentence. Now, first understand what is the process of writing a sentence. Word turns into a phrase. I'm sure you heard these words, terminology. And clause. Clause is nothing but a sentence. Somebody wants to write a sentence, he starts with a word, and it turns into phrase, and phrases turn into clause. Now you are reading. First, you find out the clause, then phrase, then word. Error may happen at this level, error may happen at this level, error may happen at this level. Another interesting point. When I turn these words into grammatical structure, you know you have only 8 parts. Any word in English can be categorized into 8 parts, guys. 8 parts of speech. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. You know these words, okay? But what I'm actually looking for here is, can you identify them? That is what the biggest question. You don't give me the definition. Nobody is going to ask you the definition. Can you identify parts of speech of this sentence? Then I would say, guys, your basics are strong. Then, can you identify phrases if you find in this sentence? Then I would say you're super. Can you identify clause? We have different clauses. Then I say you are on the right track. Nobody can stop you from finding out the error in case if you find the sentence. Okay? Fine. Go in detail. Now, when I write a sentence, grammatically, the sentence may be classified into simple, or a compound, or a complex, or compound complex. One more extension, this. Okay? Now, this one is usage. How do I use that sentence? That simple sentence can be a statement, interrogative, imperative, or exclamative. That's the way I use it. Now, another point I want you guys to understand here. When you are doing this reading comprehension, you only read that sentence to get the idea. Now, ideas are divided into opinions and facts. If you take a paragraph here, paragraph, let us say you have 5 sentences. Those sentences are classified into opinions and facts. Now, we'll talk more about this when I am dealing with this reading comprehension part. Okay. Here, before I go to the next slide, look at this one, guys. I write one sentence in Hindi because that is what do you say, national language. Maybe I would go for it. If it is Telugu, maybe it is only for our students. I mean to say AP and Telangana. I would write one sentence in Hindi. Just check it out. Okay. I want you guys to translate this sentence into English. This is what happens. Word for word, if I translate, this is what happens. Tomorrow, I home won't. Look at this sentence. People got the idea. Tomorrow I home won't go because we are very smart. We understand the idea, what he's trying to say. But obviously, guys, there is some problem. What problem? Grammatical problem. Understand point number 1, very important. Indian languages, as far as I know, most of the Indian languages don't have a particular pattern of framing a sentence, whereas English has a fixed pattern. Look at this one. I can change the order. कल मैं घर नहीं जाऊंगा. Read reverse. जाऊंगा नहीं, घर मैं कल. Also perfectly okay. Or you take this. घर कल मैं नहीं जाऊंगा. और नहीं जाऊंगा कल मैं घर. और जाऊंगा नहीं घर मैं कल. Whatever way you read, absolutely right. But whereas this, we have a fixed pattern. So guys, our preparation starts from this point. What is the order of words in a sentence? Interestingly, we don't have many. Only we have, I would say, 3 plus 1. Only 3 plus 1. Suppose if I see a sentence and you ask me to find out the error, first thing I'll find out, is it a simple sentence, compound, or a complex? And I transform that sentence into this basic structure. S, V, S, V, O, S, V, O, O, and S, V, C. Any English sentence, if you transform into grammatical structure, that falls into one of these structures. Okay? We'll come back. Now guys, look at this one. I have given 2, okay, let me call sentences. A, B. Which group of words is a sentence? It means one is not a sentence. Which one is a sentence? The barking dog. The dog is barking. Can I get answers from you guys? Let me see. Which one is? Okay. Now look at this. After understanding this structure, I want you to pay attention to this. What is a verb? Action. A word which indicates action. A word which indicates state. The moment you give me a sentence, first thing I'll check is, where is the verb? Where is the verb? This is the verb. Is this a verb? No. When you don't have a verb in a sentence, I would say that is not a sentence at all. So guys, the heart of any English sentence is a verb. Okay? And look at this one. If there is a verb and I immediately find out, we'll talk in detail, this one. And if I have a verb, it has to be there. And I will immediately find out the tense. And I also check the voice. If I have one more verb, I should also see how is this verb related to this verb. So that is rule number 1, we'll see that. So strategically. Fine. Look at one more question, guys. Which group of words is a sentence because it gives us a sense of completeness? Helping her friend. Fine, spoken, it's okay, people got that idea, but strictly speaking, incomplete. With the help of her friend, also incomplete. Ananya helped her friend, which gives a complete sense. It is. Nearly every simple sentence that we make falls into one of these 3 basic patterns, which I gave you. SV, SVO, SVOO. 2 of these patterns involve action verbs. Now, what do I mean by action verbs? Already I talked about this. Now, you tell me which one is an action word here. Talks about state. Look at this one. This is the first thing you have to do with the sentence if it is given to you. Look at this one. Where is the verb? Don't worry about the errors. Guys, first understand the structure of the sentence. Somebody has constructed a sentence. You are deconstructing that sentence. If you do that, I'm telling you, mark my words, if you do that, error comes out and dances in front of you. Maybe like any heroine, Rashmiya Mandana. Okay, error dances like heroine. You have to just catch hold of that. Don't worry about the errors. Now, this is the verb. This is the verb. This is the verb. This is the verb. Which sentence make complete sense only with these 2 words? Hari stumbled. Hari sharpened. Our guest brought. Our guest arrived. Our guest arrived. Yeah, he arrived. No problem. Complete sense. Hari stumbled. Yes. But when you look at this sentence, Hari sharpened. Something is missing. What? Our guest brought. What? If I don't give you answer for this, these are incomplete. So guys, our first pattern is S plus V. Only with these 2 words. One is action, actor. I can make a meaningful sentence. Look at this one. Action, actor. Reverse flow. I sneezed. Action, actor. Action, actor. Dogs run. Water evaporates. Action, actor. Next. This one is SVO. Notice that the action begins with the subject and ends with the direct object. What is this object? Now, I'll give you one more tip here. This is verb. I will put a question here so that I'll get the subject. What or who? Then, if I get an answer for what again here or whom, I call it as object. Right? Let us start with the verb. Every time, any sentence, always remember start with the verb. Who? Whom. So this becomes SVO. Spells verb she, who. Spells what? Verb goes who. Action. This is type 2. SVO. If I don't get the meaning with SV, I may add here that can be O. Not always. We'll see that. Other part. Another. Now, this is pattern 3. Again, I started with the verb. Subject. Father made whom object, what object. SVOO. Third pattern. Same here. Sang is a verb. Who? Who sang? Whom? What? Look at this one. I called him a fool. Dad gave me money. Please understand, my point is how to turn the given sentences into grammatical pattern. Later we talk about errors. Again, SVO. What? O. Gave. Subject, verb. Again, object, object. Okay? Try to transform the given sentence into SV, SVO, SVOO pattern. There is one more. We just divert here to this part. You heard this one. But I tell you, to find out noun, you always ask these questions. Verb, yes. Action words or be forms. Now, look at this one. Don't worry about these definitions of this. We'll discuss this, but I want you to actually identify this. When I ask students, most of the time they give the definition, noun, verb, adjective, adverb, but I want you to identify this adjective, adverb here. Look at this. Noun is our hero. Verb is our heroine. And these two are extra artists. Whatever I write other than this, only adding to this meaning. Now, point I am trying to make here, guys. When I say SV, SVO, SVOO, it doesn't mean that is always two words. Look at this. Birds fly. SV. Okay. Friends play cricket. Look at one more sentence. My friends will play. Use this word, gully cricket. I am asking you to transform this into structure. We, subject and object. Subject can be a single word. Verb can be a single word. Object can be a single word. It can be a group of words. Verb can be a group of words. Object can be a group of words. But structure is not disturbed. The way I construct building on the foundation, I can have single floor or 2 floors or 3 floors, but all structures of sentences are constructed on this basic structure, foundation, SV, SVO, SVOO. This is the point I'm trying to make here. We'll come back to errors later. Fine. Look at this one. This is the fourth structure, S and V. This V is B form. What are B forms? I'm sure you guys know, but let me tell you once again. Am, is, are, was, were, has been, have been, had been, etc. If I have this be form, after that I can have a noun, I can have an adjective, I can have an adverb. Guys, don't really worry how I can make out this one. Slowly you understand. Step by step I'm going. You can easily make out. By the end of the session, what is your takeaway? You can identify a class, you can identify phrase, you can identify part of speech. If time allows, we'll see. At least, we can complete this part. So finally, if I give you a sentence, if you can identify these clauses, it means, yes, sufficient for today's session at least. We can go ahead with that. Now, look at this one. Simple sentence pattern. S plus V, this one, SVO, SVOO, SVC. Now, comma. Look at this. Look at this one, guys. Verb again, subject and object. Please give me structure of this sentence. You can send me, I'll be happy. What is the structure of this sentence in terms of this? Always start from the verb. Could have told. Verb. Group of words. My friend Raj. My friend Raj could have told whom? Your friend Rani. What? A top secret. So, S, V. Now, let me conclude the first part, and now let us move to this one. I said, any simple sentence. How do I know that is a simple sentence, guys? There is only one verb and one subject. Rest of the things, I am not concerned. If I have only one subject, it can be single word, a group of words, or it can be a single word, group of words. That is simple sentence. Now, what is this fan boys? Look at this. For and nor but or yet so. So grammatically these are called conjunctions. Look at the word junction, conjunction, putting it together. Okay. So these words, standard words, help me to join what? Two SVs or two SVOs or two SVOs or two SVCs. See here, the wind was blowing, the water was rough. I have two sentences here. This one. I have joined these two sentences with the help of this. I paid my bill and the waiter brought me my change. I join these two sentences. But if you look at this one, verb, subject, object, SVO, and verb, subject, object, and object. So I am joining two sentences like this. Verb, subject, and object. This is plus. Of course, it joins opposite ideas, but it adds like, additional part here. It adds, but with ideas opposite. Verb, subject. Okay, this one I will talk about later. It's not object. As we go ahead, I'll talk about that later. The movie bored the adults, but the children liked it. Start from the verb. There is one more verb. Subject, object, subject, object. See the pattern. I can add like this. Please understand the purpose of this. Once you transform the given sentence into grammatical structure, then I tell you what to check. Okay, once you understand this, guys, as I told you, clauses, position here or remove this one. Or phrase, you position here or you remove this. Same with the parts of speech. This word has a role to play. This word has a meaning to convey, whatever the rules and regulations that we'll see later. Look at this one. The whistle blew. When the whistle blew. Although both word groups have a subject and verb, it means S and V. This is yes. Only one word group makes sense by itself. Which sentence makes complete sense? Which one is incomplete? Yes, this one. When I say, when the whistle blew, something is needed to complete that meaning. Otherwise, like people said, yeah, incomplete. Fine. So this is incomplete sentence. As I said, to make a sentence, I need SV. But second point is, it also should give the complete sense. Look at this. A word group that has a subject and a verb, but does not make sense by itself is called a dependent clause or secondary idea. Look at this once again. Which one makes a sense? Which one doesn't make a sense? The road was rough because the road was rough. Which one makes a sense? Which one doesn't make sense? Complete sense. So technically I have verb and subject, but it doesn't give me the complete meaning, so it is dependent clause. The road was rough. Yes, it gives a complete meaning, and also I got SV, structure. Now, look at this. Yeah, I want you to go through this one. You have to remember this. These are called subordinate conjunctions, or let us remember like this. These words help me to frame secondary idea or dependent clause. I simply have to put S and V after this. After SV, it becomes dependent clause. Just have a glance. After, although, as if, as long as much, as soon, as though, because, before, by the time, even if, in order that, in case, in the event, that, lest, now that, once, only if, provided that, since, so, supposing, that, than, though, till, unless, until. Pay special attention to these words. W words. When, whenever, where, whereas, wherever, whether or not, while, like this. Now, how do we use them? Okay, guys, let me summarize. Words, I said you have 8 grammatically, and is a phrase. Look at this one. My friend has come here. I have a group of words as a verb. So if I have a group of words in a verb position, that is verbal phrase. Phrase is nothing but group. In subject, I have a group of words. Then that is, I don't mind if you call it a subject phrase or noun phrase. Okay? I have to identify these phrases. Once I identify these classes, I'll come back to this again. Okay, verbal phrase, noun phrase, you have a prepositional phrase, gerundial phrase, infinitive phrase, participle phrase, all terminology. But as I said, I will make you to recognize them. Then errors. Okay. Now, interestingly, when you can identify one dependent clause, how do you do that? With the help of these words. If you find a word in a sentence, this word, let me give one example. He had done it before I came. I want you to transform this sentence into grammatical structure. Always start with the verb, verb, subject, who had done what. And the moment I see this, I have to remember this. Before, okay, it's a subordinate conjunction. Start bracket here. After that, I have again SV. So, this is dependent clause. And this is actually main sentence or main clause. If you have a combination of this full sentence, I call it a complete sentence or full sentence, and this is incomplete or half sentence for our understanding, the combination of these two is called complex sentence. If you join these two sentences with and or this fanboy is in a but or this is called compound sentence. If I join two sentences with the help of this, that is called complex sentence. Now, once you identify this, that secondary idea works like noun, works like an adjective, works like an adverb. Can you identify? If you can identify, you are on the right track. Now, look at this. Fine. Find out the dependent clauses in the following sentences. You just have to follow this order. Like, I gave you the order of identifying the verb. Then you tell me where is the secondary idea, where is the primary idea, and is it a simple, compound, or complex? You have to identify it. So let us start with the verb. How many verbs are there in the sentence? You may have more than, okay? One more verb, okay? Subject, there is this conjunction and clause, okay? So this is independent clause. Let us mark it like this, and this is dependent clause. If you can do this, okay, like I can go to the next part, but before that, let me check. Please show me where is the secondary idea or dependent clause in this sentence. Always start from the verb. Where is that clause marker? Here. Where should I close? Here. Please let me get answers from your side. Where is the secondary idea? See. Again, verb, two verbs are there. Then I have one class marker. Yes. Verb, verb, and this is subject, and this is subject. Other things not really needed at this stage. This is the marker. Yes, fine. Yes, I want to tell you one interesting point here. You have identified this. Now tell me, what is the question you can replace with this dependent clause? Can I put your question should be added to this verb. The king ordered. Should I say what? So that my answer is that the traitor should be put to death. Or should I say when? Should I say where, why, how? If you can get the answer for this what, remember, this is called noun clause. Please understand my point. If you identify this is a noun clause, then we can talk about errors related to noun clause. If you identify there is an adjective clause in this sentence, we can talk about errors related to adjective clause. So most of the times what happens, guys, students casually read the sentence. They casually find out the error. Sometimes it may be right, most of the times not, because they are just going by the blind way of this. You should know what is given, then only you can talk about that. Suppose, I talk about the parts later, what should be checked. If I don't find any error at this level, then I turn this into phrases. Do I have a phrase? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Then I talk about error related to that phrases. So this session, or this first part, we are talking about clauses. Now see the next one. Can I get answer for this? Look at this one. This whole part I can put. What is not known? That he is not interested in the offer is not known. So this is noun clause. How did I make out this? Because this part is answer for what? This is a technique. Look at this one. He said what? I want to tell you one interesting point. Guys, I'm sure you know this one. What? Direct speech. He said, I will not go. Now you please change this direct speech into indirect speech, if you can. That he not go. Okay? Now, if there is this direct indirect speech session, obviously they will give you this direct speech and ask you to change this indirect speech. But if it is a spotting error, he won't talk about direct indirect speech, voice, a tense, or a noun, a pronoun, nothing. Straight away he throws a sentence at you. Okay, you have to find out what exactly this sentence is made of grammatically. So if sentence is given like this, okay, again, verb, conjunction, this. Okay, it's a complex sentence, sir. How do you know it's a complex sentence? There is one dependent clause, okay? Now, there are only 3 dependent clause grammatically: noun, adjective, adverb. That's it. So is it a noun, adjective or adverb? How do I know? If this is answer for what, that is noun clause. If this part, whatever dependent clause, is answer for when, where, why, how, that is adverb clause. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here, when you change direct speech into indirect speech, that indirect speech becomes complex sentence with noun clause. Okay. Okay. Fine. So, there is one more, what do you say, advanced part. Okay, see here. Please. I'm sure you guys can make out. Grammatically, what are these? Prepositions. I write one sentence. You check it out. He is here. Verb. Now, what part of speech is this? I tell you guys, whenever you are trying to find out part of speech, use these questions. What, who, when, where, why, how. If that particular word or a group of words is giving answer for when, where, why, how, simply blindly say adverb. If that is answer for what, who, and whom, that is a noun. See here, he is. Should I put what or where or when? He is where? Right away, adverb. I have identified. Error part, we'll see later. Now, I'll tell you one more point. Look at this. Is in the class. I am slowly moving to phrases. Verb, subject. Do you find a preposition here? Yes. Where should I close this? Now take it for granted. If there is a preposition in a sentence, in any sentence, any English sentence, the end of the sentence has to be noun or noun phrase or noun clause. Single word, group of words, noun clause, that conjunction S plus 3. Okay, now look at this. Another interesting point, guys. Give me the question word for this. He is in the class. What is the question word you put here? He is when, where, why, how, or what? He is where. So this is also used as adverb. But I have a group of words. This is called adverb phrase. Okay. So here, this is the verb. This is the preposition. The end of the preposition, I have one clause, that is noun clause. Don't worry, even if you can't make out immediately, with enough practice, you can make out. I'm telling you, the first step for any competitive exams, okay, first understand the sentence formation. What is an error? Error means if the sentence is not written according to the standard English. There are so many Englishes, as I told you, but standard English, bookish. We still follow this British English. We have certain rules and regulations. We have to follow that. That we'll see. Guys, memorizing rules and regulation is not a big thing, I'm telling you. You guys have to understand the difference between these two words. I know something. That's called knowledge. If I know how to use that knowledge, it's a skill. And skill comes with the practice. I know how to fly an aeroplane because I read it somewhere. But I can't fly an aeroplane unless I go and take the practice sessions and slowly. Same with language. Language is a skill. Okay? Know, get the knowledge, practice, and develop the skill. Okay? So, verb, subject, again, verb, subject. This is the conjunction. I don't know. What is the question I put? Should I put what, or when, or where, or why, or how? I don't know what. So this becomes noun clause. We have learned to identify noun clauses. Any dependent clause that gives answer for what, that is a noun clause. Guys, let me summarize, then we'll move ahead. In exam, sentence is given to you. A sentence is given to you. That sentence has to be a simple sentence, a compound sentence, or a complex sentence. You know it's a simple sentence. If you have one subject and one verb, sentence starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop or a question mark. If I have one subject and one verb in that group, that is simple sentence. If I join two sentences with that fanboys, that is compound sentence. If I have one complete sentence and one secondary, or which we call or half sentence, that is complex sentence. And in this complex sentence, you have a secondary sentence or dependent clause. That dependent clause can be a noun, can be an adjective, can be an adverb. Okay, sir, I understand this. Now, what should be done to find out the error? Still, wait. We need to learn about adjective and adverb clauses. Then I talk about error finding. This is one of the questions. Okay, let's do one thing, guys. Before we have this error finding session, we'll take a small break for 5 minutes, then we'll come back, then we'll try to apply. At least if you can find out these, noun clauses in this sentence, or tell me whether it is a simple, compound, or complex, I would say we are on the right track. Simply how to tell me simple, compound, complex. Can you find out this? Yes. Then we are on the track. We'll come back, guys. Okay, thank you. Short break for 5 minutes. Welcome back, guys. Look at this. This is one of the questions from competitive exams. Just how to show me, is it a simple sentence, a compound, or a complex? If it is a complex, where is the dependent clause? So as usual, we start with the verb. I have absolutely no idea what error could be there in the sentence. I simply follow this deconstruction of the sentence. Verb and subject and object, verb towards verb, and I see conjunctions from here to here, from here to here. This is the first step if you want to identify an error in a sentence. Okay, obviously, I have one independent clause, dependent clause, two dependent clauses. I can have any number of dependent clauses. Fine. Now, should I make out this? Yes, you have to. Please pay attention how this question is added to this. This question should be added to this verb. Lion told what? That he had gulped all the food. What? One more is there. The lion told the fox what? In this sentence, I have one primary sentence and two secondary sentences, and these two sentences are actually giving answer for what? It means I have two noun clauses. If you have identified this, guys, as I said, we are going on a same track. Then what? This level, I'll find out, do I have any error? Let me give you rules now. If you have a complex sentence, you have identified it with noun clause, what is that you need to check? This is called sequence of tense. This is what you need to check. What is this sequence of tense? Assuming that you got some idea about these tenses, I'm giving this rule, simple rule. See how simple it becomes once you identify the type of sentence. If the primary sentence, this is primary sentence here, is in past, what sentence should also be in the past? That is rule number one. If primary sentence verb is in the past, the noun clause verb should also be in the past. Is it there? Yes. There is one more noun clause. What about this? It is not in the past. This is the error. There is a systematic way of looking at the sentence. Sometimes what happens with your experience or with the practice, immediately you'll go and find out this is the error. But still I would say, guys, you have to follow this. Maybe initially it takes some time. With the practice, you can do it quickly. It all depends on your thought process, how you look at the sentence in exam, not outside. Outside, as I said, everything is accepted. Fine. So this is rule number one if you find this complex sentence with noun clause. Okay, I'll take some time. Before I answer this, I want you guys to give me this. Where is the primary sentence? And how many secondary sentences are there? and what questions I can actually ask to find out these clauses. You can do with me. Right? Verb and verb. See guys, and I tell you one more point. The moment I see the number of verbs, let us say I have 2 verbs in a sentence, it means that is the combination of 2 sentences. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the combination of 4 sentences. All 4 can be independent or primary, but if you have one secondary sentence, minimum one primary sentence should be there. I repeat, in a sentence, I can have independent sentence or primary sentence, any number of them, no problem. If I have one secondary sentence, minimum one primary should be there. How do I know? Simply, you have to remember this. Conjunctions. When we asked, again I have where, by skill, subject, there's the conjunction started, close. Okay, can you show me where is the primary sentence in this particular sentence? Where is the primary sentence here? If you say this is the primary sentence, guys, you are wrong. It doesn't mean that you have primary sentence always in the beginning. And look at this. I haven't looked at this actually. One, two, three, 4, 5. This is the combination of 5 sentences. Where is the primary sentence? This is the primary sentence. Look at this. This structure is like this. You have to see this sentence like this. Look at this. When we ask, half sentence, what is the question I put? When. Where was his bicycle? Where. Or should I put what? Check it out. He said, and don't get confused with this. You only put a question to this. When we asked, what? When, what? He said what and what. When we asked what, he said what and what. When, what, he said what and what. So the moment I see what, first rule I said, if the primary sentence verb in the past, the what sentences verb should also be in the past. Where is the primary? Here. It's in the past. Past, past. Very good. Past. Okay. And was being repaired, past. Right? Would take, past. But let us move to the rule number 2. Guys, remember this blindly. Secondary idea or this dependent clause, whether it is answer for what, when, where, why, how, it has to be in this order. Conjunction plus subject verb. Secondary idea, conjunction plus subject verb. That is the order. Okay? If you have conjunction V plus yes. Wrong. You have to change this into S plus V. Secondary ideas are always expressed in S plus V format. So, this is secondary idea. Asked, SV, conjunction SV, no problem. Subject, verb, conjunction, subject, verb, no problem. And this one, conjunction, subject, verb, no problem. Look at this one. When we asked, where was his bicycle, or where his bicycle was. Now, let me read the sentence after correction. When we asked where his bicycle was, he said that it was being repaired and that it would take at least 1 week to set it right. Okay, so interesting point. In a spoken form, even if you make this error, people don't find it as error because we have a, what do you say, unwritten understanding among us, especially Indians. When I make a mistake, you don't find out. If you make mistake, I don't find it. We have understanding. We only try to get the ideas from this. Sometimes, only with the monosyllabic answers, we get into the conversation. Okay, guys, let me move to the next question. Yeah. This is for you guys. I just want to see your answers. You give me this. Give you 2 rules. Find out dependent clauses. If that is what, you check for independent past, and this is past. And next, this what sentence should be in conjunction in S plus V form. And how do we deconstruct? Start from the verb always. Find out the number of verbs first. Then find out linking words. Okay. Good. Let me see. You're following me or not? Okay. Fine, guys. Good. Verb. Again, verb. Where is the verb? Guys, here, I want to tell you something. We make mistakes in identifying verbs sometimes. Let me give this sentence. I'll come back to that. While coming here, I happened to see him. Look at this sentence and tell me how many verbs are there in this sentence. While coming here, I happened to see him. If you say, this is the verb, you're wrong. This one is verb. If you say, this is the verb, again, you're wrong. Right now, I'll give you a blind rule. As we go ahead with the further sessions, maybe you understand why this is not verb. Guys, remember, after V1, before this V1 plus ing form, you need to have B form, then only I consider this as a verb. Otherwise, that is not a verb. What is this? We'll see later. Right now, you are only looking at the verb point of view. So when you have only V1 plus ing form, without this be form, it is not a verb. At the same time, to plus verb. This is like a package. Okay, this is not the verb. This is always a joint thing. So this is actually called infinitive. This is not a verb. Okay. Now here, sometimes another point. Will. Do you think something is missing here? After this helping verb, you need to have some base form of the verb. Change this to other form. I would go there. After would also be V1 form. So point I am trying to make, this is verb, agreed, but this is not a complete verb. This is the verb. This is not a verb. Okay. Now, this is primary sentence. He realized what? Again, I got what. And how difficult verb, and this is subject. That is the problem. Past and past matching. Past matching. But the problem is here, how difficult it would be. I just need to check whether I have a proper SV form here after this conjunction. That is the error. Okay. Before this, I want to give the rule is, I said, if independent sentence or clause has a past, dependent clause past. But if it is present, you can have any tense here, accept it. Present can go with present, present can go with past, present can go with future. You don't really worry about the sequence of tense. Okay, but order after this conjunction should be S plus V. That should be there. Now, verb. Yes, verb. Verb. This is not a verb. And subject. 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 What's the problem with this? This is present form. Has. Present form. Has forgotten is present form. So this present can go with past. Present. This is past. Matching. This is past. Matching. What's the problem? Now S and V. Okay. This is the problem. How old she was. This is the correction. Look at this one. Don't worry about the errors. Simply give me clauses. Where are the clauses? Every time when I went to his office and inquired what happened to my application, he answered that it is under consideration. When I went to his office and inquired, just give me question forms. Every time when inquired what, he answered what. You give me the answer. Maybe later I can give you the answer for this. You guys give me the answer. Do it later. What about this? Her relatives could not explain us why did she not come for wedding as she was expected to. All these are examination questions. Her relatives could not explain us why did she not come for a wedding as she was expected to. I will deconstruct this. Verb, subject. Where is the verb? Where is the verb? This is half, this is half. Verb. By this time, you should have get this. Past, no problem. Past, no problem. What about SV order? SV, SV. This is a problem. Why she hadn't come. See, one facility you have in spotting errors, you don't have to actually correct a sentence. Okay? But sentence improvement, yes, you have to correct it. The students wanted to know how would the rupee conversion scheme help to dampen demand. Okay, I want you to understand this point, guys. Here. This verb, I said, can be a single word, can be a group of words. Check it out. Comes here. He will come here. I have a group of words here. Look at this one. She could have done it. Could have done. That's a verb. The point is, this verb sometimes gets disturbed. Like this. She will come here. Will she come here? If it is a question form, obviously the subject is coming in between these two verbs. But when I say find out the verb, so this is the verb, this is the verb. Okay? So, has he come? Where is the verb? Has come. Fine. Why am I saying this one? There is something related to that. The students wanted verb, subject, 2 plus verb. This is not a verb. Where is the verb? This is the part of the verb. Where is the completion of that? The rupee conversion scheme help. If you can identify this, these two words are actually verb here. Very good. And this is not a verb again here. So, I'll find out secondary ideas. How would the rupee conversion scheme help to dampen up to here? So, the students wanted to know what. I got what here. The students wanted to know what. The moment I know this is what sentence, I will check for the sequence of tense. Past, past. Is it a past? This is past. So other sentence should be in the past. Would help is obviously past, not a problem. But what about conjunction, subject, and verb? Order? No. This is the proper order. Guys, I don't know whether you Got it or not? These are actually indirect speech. As I told you, if they ask you to straight away change directly into indirect speech, you straight away do that. That is what you've been doing. But the same thing, if it is given in a spotting errors, maybe sometimes you find it difficult. So your approach should be different. Rules are same, but your approach should be different. That is the point here. Fine. I am moving to next one. You just have to identify dependent clauses. Same story. Had celebrated is the actually verb. This is disturbing. One more. Yes. Do you have conjunction? Yes. Who had recently celebrated a birthday? I close it here. Let's see here. The sentence without this bracket. Pawan opened the box of gifts. This is primary sentence. Where is the secondary sentence? Who had recently celebrated a birthday is the secondary sentence. Okay. Now look at this. SVO. Secondary sentence can be here or here or sometimes here. So it has different positions. First identify them and put a question and you know the nature of this one. So here, can I put what? Put that question and see. Pawan what opened the box of gifts? No. Okay, can I put when? Pawan when opened the box of gifts? It's not going with that. Pawan where opened? No, the box of gifts, no. When, where? Pawan why opened? No. Can I put how? Pawan how opened the box? No. Guys, if I have one secondary idea after this subject and that is giving extra information about that particular subject, that is called adjective clause. That is working like an adjective. Look at this one. Gave subject, him object. What? I gave whom what? Conjunction. Yes. So this is giving extra information about the bag. I gave him the bag which contains gold. This which contains gold is used just like an adjective. Now, I want to give you one more point here. Look at this. Students are here. Good students are here. This is the verb. This is the subject. Now remember, in subject, if you have a group of words, the last word of that group is generally noun. Now see here. Students with, instead of good, I'll change. I can put that for our convenience. Intelligent students are here. Students with intelligence are here. Guys, check it out. Verb, subject, and whenever I have a preposition, I start the bracket and the end of the preposition always noun or noun group or noun clause. Look at this. Same sentence. Presentation is different. Idea is same. intelligent students are here, students with intelligence are here. Okay, here I used adjective, here I used adjective phrase. Prepositional phrase is used as an adjective or adverb phrases. In detail, we talk about in phrases session. Now, look at this one. Students are intelligent. Students who are intelligent are here. Is it a simple, compound, or complex? It's a complex sentence. I have one secondary, one primary. Students are here. So, this is called adjective clause. Adjective, adjective phrase, adjective clause. Presentation is different. Let him present whatever way he wants. Here you are only dissecting that. You are only identifying. Sir, in this sentence there is adjective, this is adjective phrase, this is adjective clause. Can you make out that? Yes. Then we can talk about errors. Look at this. The car that I bought from showroom is parked in the garage. Start from the verb. Is parked is a verb. Okay, two verbs are there definitely. I look for the linking words, that is conjunctions. That bought from showroom. Okay, from here. Now read the sentence without this. The car is parked in the garage. What type of car? That I bought from showroom. Adjective clause. Okay. Now, if you can identify this adjective clauses, there is only one problem with the adjective clause. Okay. Look at this, guys. This is also one of the examination bits. I don't remember which exam, but I remember the question. Check it out. The speaker spoke very well in the conference. Who is a rich banker's wife? Read the sentence and tell me, is it a simple, compound, or complex? That's the first thing. There's one more. There's one more verb. Conjunction is here. The speaker spoke very well in the conference. Who is a rich banker's wife? When you casually read this sentence, we got the idea. We don't really find any problem with that. But if you turn this into grammatical term, okay, there is one secondary idea. Is it a noun clause or adjective clause? So to find out, I'll put what. The speaker spoke very well in the conference. What? Who is a rich banker's wife? No. So, who is a rich banker's wife? Now, if we ask this question, obviously we know with our common sense, speaker. Speaker is a rich banker's wife. With our common sense, we can make out. But when you look at the grammatical part here, guys, if you are giving extra information about this word, let this whole group is placed right side after that word. That's the only legal position, grammatically legal position. Okay. If you give this one, the meaning is conference who is a rich banker's wife, there is no sense in that. So the only problem with adjective clause is positioning. What is a right position? It can talk about a noun or pronoun, and the placement of that is always right side of that. Right? So this is, yep. Now, Dependent clause that gives additional information about a noun or pronoun is an adjective clause. And let me also add this one. It is always placed after the noun or pronoun it talks about. Guys, if you have understood, if you have noticed, I haven't actually given importance to parts of speech here. Okay, because first you identify the clause, then you break that into phrase, then you identify these parts of speech and see how easy it becomes. Okay, and at least if you learn these three areas from my sessions, guys, I would say your basics are strong. Nobody can stop you from identifying the error. I told you. Once again, I tell you this one. If you can see the sentence from clauses, phrases, parts of speech point of view, second part of Pushpa. This is only first part of Pushpa, if you can identify. Second part of Pushpa is where is this word or where is this clause, where is this particular word, and it has a role to play and it has a position. So these two should be checked. That is what you are learning. Okay. Now, Now let us talk about third type of clause, adverb. I was telling you this. If the word or group of words or a secondary sentence is answer for when, where, why, and how, or sometimes on what condition, and also contrast. These are all adverb clauses. Adverbs or adverb clauses or adverb phrases. If that particular group of words, a single word is answer for this. Okay, look at this. You just have to put I'll find out the secondary ideas. You try and give the questions for that. After that, you can check with my questions. He had done his work before he called me. This is the verb, this is the subject, and this is the verb, this is the subject, verb, and subject, and verb, and subject. Where is the link? Here and here. Tell me what is the question it takes. He had done his work. Should I put what, or when, where, why, how, on what condition? Contrast. This hutch dog follows me wherever I go. Verb, subject, this is actual subject. Verb, subject, secondary idea. Give me the question. This hutch dog follows me. What is the question? Because he worked hard for the exam, he will get good scores. Verb, subject, verb, subject. Secondary idea starts from here to here. And tell me what is the question it takes. That's your target. The manager talks as if he knew everything. This is a verb, this is a subject, this is a verb, this is a subject, and as if is one conjunction. This is the secondary idea. Sorry. If he knows, he will do it. Verb, subject, verb, subject. Where is the link? Conjunction, this one and this one. What about next one? Can do, subject, won't do, subject. Where is the conjunction? Here, here. You have to give me questions for these secondary ideas. Okay, that will give us. Okay guys, so I will expect your answers. Maybe I can post answers, later. You can cross-check answers with this. And finally, if that follows this, when, where, why, how, on what condition, and contrast, these are called adverb clauses. So finally guys, if I know the sentence, simple, compound, complex. I started with the complex. If I know this is a complex sentence with noun clause, what to do? If it is adjective clause, what to do? If it is an adverb clause, what to do? We have more in adverb clauses. So there is no problem with the clause. Then I will break this into phrases, which I haven't done. I will do that in the further sessions. Then what are these phrases? And if let us say this is a noun phrase, what type of error we can expect with this noun phrase? Verb phrase, what the error? No problem with these phrases. Then parts of speech. What part of speech is this? What is this? What is it? Then I'll divide this into single word. If you can give me parts of speech at this stage, then you will check for this one. Don't straight away look at the word and tell me this is the error. Errors are always hidden. If you deconstruct these sentences, as I said, errors come and dances, in front of you. So that is what today's session. Thank you very much. I hope you understood these classes, guys. So look forward to seeing you in the further classes, sessions. Thank you very much. Good night. See you in the next year. Thank you.